You're listening to the WCHE Morning Show on 95.3 WCHE.
.3 WCHE. I'm Shai Gilmore filling in for Eric Clambera alongside Barry D in studio. Our interview is finally here. April Margera, thank you so much for coming in today and taking the time out of your busy life, your busy schedule. But thank you so much. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
You're good?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm really good. Today is Phil's birthday, so I left the birthday boy. I said, I'll be back. So, yeah.
How old's the big guy turning?
He's 69 today, but he hasn't caught up to me yet.
I can't believe he's still alive after everything Band has put him through. My God.
You know, he kind of started it. You know, he was always the prankster when my kids were young.
Oh, was he really?
He was always the wait behind the door, tackle the kids onto the bed kind of guy. So
it's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
So, I mean, he kind of, Bam flipped it around, and I mean, it looks really strange to everybody else, I guess, that, you know, here's this guy wailing on his dad and, you know, plunging him in the middle of the night or whatever. But it's like, it was just like every day at my house, you know.
What do you call that? Tuesday,
yeah.
Just an normal, everyday occurrence.
Exactly, yeah.
But let's jump right into it. I spoke to you out in the lobby before this. You're from Thornton. You guys live in Thornton, PA now.
We do.
You grew up in Glen Mills, is that correct? Like around this area?
Yes, I grew up, I lived in Chester Heights till 1966, and then we moved to what is now Garnet Valley. Yeah. And I went to Garnet Valley, you know, all my school years.
I got a lot of buddies who went there.
Love
I got
Garnet Valley,
so.
GV, all the way.
Mm-hmm. Were you ever, like, at Westchester University partying ever? Like, you know, in this area?
I mean, I had friends that went to, you know, Westchester University, a lot of my girlfriends, and you know, I've been back and forth to Westchester, not necessarily for, you know, a party. I think I just went right into a different line of work, and took me in a different direction. But
now, what was that line of work? You're a hairdresser, correct?
Yeah, I was a hairdresser. For like 34 years.
That makes her a part-time psychologist too.
Oh, you know it, man. You know it. I mean, I think I've worked my way through like some incredible stuff. Even when I was like really young, I was like, what? But you do learn to like kind of work through that. And yeah, I was a hairdresser, and I really loved it.
Cosmetologist to you there.
I was also a barber, too.
Really? Me and my barber they really exchange many words. One of the barbers in there thought I was 35 until about a month ago. I'm like, dude, I'm 20 years old. I've been coming here since I was 10.
Oh, my God.
He's like, I thought you were 35. I'm like, dude, what? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh, my gosh. Well, you know, that works, like, for you and against you, because I knew a girl, like, when I went to high school. She was a cousin of my best friend. And she went on to be a Philadelphia cheerleader, Eagles cheerleader. Yeah. And, you know, she always looked older and like, more mature, and now, like, she looks younger. So it works for you, you know?
Now,
well, you and Phil, Botox.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
You and Phil are arguably the most famous mom and dad in reality TV. Maybe, in my opinion, you guys are.
I guess.
How did you guys meet? Like, I don't know how you guys met.
It was so funny because I was going into my senior year of high school, and I really
Best 3 years of my life.
Yeah. I was working at the movie theater, Eric Theater, and I'd worked there for a while, and I just didn't want to kind of be dating anybody at that point, because I was kind of that person who always like kind of was going steady with somebody.
Which Eric was it? Which twin Eric?
Well, actually, I started in the Concordville Eric just for, I think, even like not even a month, and then I went to Tri-State Mall.
Okay.
Because it was closer to my house.
Because he won't even understand that, because now it's all mega ones. We had them when they were Erics and twin Erics.
I know,
right?
when
Sam
people
Erics.
actually went to the movies.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. The only movie theater I've been around here is the Downingtown one. That's like right over there.
Yeah.
But that's
everything's
like
mega now. Back in the day, it was a single or two.
We actually had, some of them had like 7 and 8 screens.
Really?
Some of them had 2 or 3, one side, the other side. I was the candy girl or usherette, you know, whatever you wanted to call. And anyway, they called Phil in, and I just remember seeing him walking in, and I'm thinking, who is this guy? You know what I mean? Wow. I thought he was so much older than I was. I thought he was in college. And we ended up going out on a date.
When What was the line he laid on you?
Well, he didn't lay any line. He was very quiet.
Oh, well.
He kind of like was this quiet guy who was just, he was very powerful without saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the craziest story I'm going to tell you. I can't even believe I'm going to tell you this story. So there was
nobody's listening. You're good.
It's nuts. No. Well, our first date was actually in Westchester at the Quaker restaurant because there was a man that was, I guess he came into Tri-State Mall, and he was trying to tell me that there was a thing called cable television that was going to happen to everybody's TV, and you would have like 40, 50 channels, and we were like, what? He said, you would be perfect for commercials. Mm-hmm. Like, we're going to be doing cable TV commercials.
Right.
Would you consider it? And I couldn't even conceptualize what he was even talking about because we had like 5 channels. That was it.
Yeah, you're like, what kind of line is he throwing
cable
down
television.
Here? Right.
So he said, could you meet me at the, Quaker restaurant and we'll talk about it. I have commercials lined up for you. And I really was not considering going. And Phil's like, my friend Bobby and I will take you. We'll go. We'll be your kind of like,
mm-hmm.
wingmen,
right.
bodyguards. He's a big Elvis fan, so he knows everything about Elvis.
I was watching a bunch of interviews. He's constantly quoting Elvis.
Every day.
Constantly quoting
every
Elvis.
Day. There's an Elvis reference, at least. But anyway, he and Bobby took me to this restaurant, and I met with this guy. And, of course, he had all these commercials for me. And one of the commercials out of his mouth was, we have an underwear commercial that would be fabulous for you. And I'm like, yeah, well, I don't think my dad's going to go for that. You know what I mean? Underwear commercial on a cable television station that nobody ever heard of. So I kind of, passed on that whole thing. And, I'm like, whatever, who knew, all these years later. And the craziest part moving forward that my grandkids know and our family knows is that in 1981 I was offered the MTV VJ job.
Stop.
I was.
No way.
I actually cut the man's hair who worked for MTV in King of Prussia, and I never knew it. We always talked music and everything, and he came in one day and he says, listen, we're starting a new channel and it's called MTV, and we're looking for VJs. And I said, what's a VJ? And he said, a video jockey. He says, you have the look.
Because otherwise that reference might go to something else.
Yeah, I mean, well, I actually thought, where's this going?
Right. I heard this underwear commercial thing.
I've already done the underwear commercial.
Well, by the way, I might start using that underwear commercial. I got a girlfriend, but, Yeah.
And it's hard to visualize because, I'm 70. It's hard to visualize. But, no, I was offered that job to come up and try out for
So you're telling me Martha Quinn would have been nothing.
Actually, I think it was Nina Blackwood that took my spot when I turned it down.
Nina Blackwood.
And, I mean, honestly, I didn't understand the whole thing. I came home, I talked to my husband about it, and we had just moved into a house. I had 2 children, 1 and 2.
Yeah, not possible.
And I'm like, I cannot go to New York. You know what I mean? I cannot go back and forth in New York. I don't want to move to New York. I have 2 kids to raise. And so I very thankfully, declined. And I mean, I really didn't understand it. Of course, when it came out, it was kind of crazy.
They didn't understand it, by the way, either. If you watch, you can go onto YouTube and see the first 3 hours. They were at a loss.
They were all at a loss, I'm pretty sure. It's so funny because I ran into Mark Goodman when Bam hosted the VH1 Rock Awards out in Vegas, and we were kind of co-hosts with him, and I ran into Mark Goodman. We were just waiting in one of the waiting rooms with ZZ Top. It was so funny.
Really?
And I said, you're going to think this is funny, but I was offered a VJ job, and he says, who was going to hire you? And I told him the guy's name. He goes, that's who hired me.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now, I said, how crazy is that?
That's
Mark
crazy.
Goodman, he was the only one that actually had DJ experience.
Yes, he was
the
a
other
DJ.
ones had nothing. Nothing at all. He always also put himself above the other people because he was a DJ.
Yeah.
So the others were he's kind of the snot.
I know. He was nothing but great when I was talking to him.
He had the hair, man. He had the hair.
They all had hair.
Yeah.
And I think most of them were already there. I think Martha Quinn was already there. I mean, they had those people, and they were filling in, I guess, maybe the last slots. And I think it was Nina Blackwood that kind of was like the last installment. So I heard.
Yeah.
But so it's so funny that all these years later, like I'm not only on cable TV and MTV, just later.
It all comes back around. Well, the opportunity closes and then it opens again
I
later.
suppose.
Right? That's the
Only
thing.
I'm so much older and not looking younger. And
Whatever.
April, you look great.
Look,
Well, anyway.
April, you look great.
That's right. You look terrific, and the bottom line
With the
is
stress you guys have gone through.
I'm
telling
surprised
you
I
guys
have
look
any
phenomenal.
hair.
You guys have aged phenomenally.
Oh man, and honestly, you've seen what was filmed. You haven't seen the film that didn't make it, and you haven't seen our everyday lives too. I mean, like we bought a car a couple years ago, and I mean nobody's filming anything, and Bam came up and he goes, so you bought a Chevy, whoa, and I'm like, yeah. We're the smart ones, I'm not buying some weird car from some weird company, so every time I need a gas cap, it's $950.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
from Beijing,
I have,
China or something
and I have
like
puffy
that.
wheels, not those thin little things.
and you don't have to worry about Billy Idol cutting a sunroof into your car.
Right. Well, that was Bam's idea, so he's an idiot. But no, he said, it's a really nice car. He says, it fits you guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, thanks. So little did we know that he had dumped an entire jar of purple sparkles down into the vents.
Oh, stop.
And it just blew out.
And continues.
To this day.
Still
We've
doing
had
it?
that car for years.
It's like Britney Spears is with you every day in spirit.
You have no idea.
That's
and you can't get
crazy.
that out of the car. I have tried everything.
No.
Silly putty, everything.
It's impossible.
No,
it's
it's
with you all the time.
Yeah, well, they
I hosed
stick
it
everywhere,
down,
right?
cleaned
All the
it down.
time.
They stick to any little anything they kind of wedge in.
Yeah.
It's awful. And the poor guy, it was like in slow motion when we took the car in for service at Thomas Chevrolet. I saw the guy in slow-mo getting into my car. I was like, I was going to go, wait.
Yeah.
And I saw the plume.
Wow.
And he's like, and he just looked, he goes, are you the Jackass people? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Have fun with the sparkles for the next 10 years.
I mean, that's a pain in the ass to get rid of. But speaking of Jackass, before we get into anything like with TV related, movie related, you guys have another son named Jesse, who's the drummer for CKY.
Yeah.
It started when CKY was basically the foundation of the whole show. Like all the music in there from that first CKY video is all CKY music.
Right.
What was it like, having two not completely different kids, but two kids who wanted to go in two different directions?
Well, I mean, Jesse and Bam both skateboarded. Of course, clearly, Bam was like, I mean, he was doing things that we just couldn't even believe.
Yeah.
Both of them were musicians. Bam plays the guitar, Jesse plays the drums, and both of my brothers are drummers.
Really?
So, I mean, it wasn't anything new to me. I grew up that way.
Used to the noise.
I was used to the whole thing. So we had a house that had like a poured foundation that was so thick that the band used to practice down there, and we would have all the band members, and then of course all the neighborhood kids and Bam's friends, which were Bam and Jesse's friends. So between filming skits all day, and skateboarding everywhere. Phil would take them everywhere, and when he didn't, I did. We had. It seemed like we had two boys, but we really raised like the neighborhood. It was like we had,
Everybody.
You guys were the talk of the town.
We were kind of like we always had 8 to 10 guys at our house all the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was times when I'm like, please just go home.
Yeah.
And they would for 15 minutes, and they would come back.
And stop eating all the food.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I made a lot of food. I mean, a really, really lot of food at all weird hours because the band would practice downstairs. And for the longest time, the band was kind of called Foreign Objects, and for a short while they were Oil. And then they wanted to change the name of the band, and I remember them being up all night long. No, I don't like that, and I just heard them all night long.
And Bon Jovi had already been taken.
Yeah, darn.
So
they came up with Camp Kill Yourself, and I'm like,
what a name.
I'm like, that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
I said, that's promoting suicide. And it's like, no. You can kind of hurt yourself, doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So they kind of have always been known as CKY.
Yeah.
Now, this is where it gets muddy.
That's where that comes from?
For a lot of people.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people get kind of confused, but it's also a beautiful kind of accident. So Bam now does the CKY videos, which is the skateboarding, the pranks, and everything else. And the music is CKY.
Mm-hmm.
So people didn't know whether CKY was the band or CKY is the video or is CKY the whole conglomeration or what is CKY. But it was a perfect storm because it was such a big thing that people didn't even care. They just wanted a CKY shirt. It meant all of this.
Right.
So,
which is a very cool shirt. I still see people wearing it all around to this day, especially around here. Especially around here.
I know. I was in Europe.
Yeah,
well, like
Jake's
seriously, like last year.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
and I'm like, people are wearing CKY.
I was in Spain. I saw a few Viva La Bam shirts. Beautiful.
Get out of here.
Beautiful.
Oh.
It was. I mean, I was watching an interview with Bam. He was explaining how he was more famous in these other countries than he was over here, which is hard to believe because I was too young at the time. I'm 20 years old. So when Viva La Bam and CKY came out, I was barely even alive.
Right.
Even still to this day, I think everything like this resonates with people even my age. Like, they're still coming out with the new movies. Bam's still doing his thing, skateboarding.
Yeah.
Some would say better than he used to.
He's doing great. I mean, his skateboarding is... He was always a great skateboarder. And then I think with filming and like life got so busy, he just didn't have time to skateboard. They didn't allow him time to skateboard. I mean, he was busy 24/7 because not only was he writing the show, filming the show, pretty much directing, producing the show. Like, you know, he had all hands on deck because if it wasn't the way that he wanted it, the first day of filming for Viva La Bam, he walked out because, I mean, and I was mortified because we had a really good director that came in, and I mean, they started bolting cameras to the ceiling like the Osbournes. And he goes, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see my boring life. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to see me coming down and having a bowl of cereal in the morning. Like,
it's boring.
I want it to be what I want them to see.
Yeah.
And
Is it true you guys were given $300 grand a week for 65 weeks? Is that a true thing?
That isn't for me.
Well, no, the show as a whole.
For production.
For production to do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't share a whole lot with us. I mean, we never even knew there was a script until I found one, like, the end of the first season.
Well, it was like laying around. You went, what the heck?
I saw it laying around. I never knew there was a script. I figured they just did stuff to us, and then we would backpedal a bit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I know they had a big budget because, I mean, Bam came in with some pretty grandstandy place stuff. All the stuff he wanted to do when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Pirate ship, treasure, castle, the whole thing. I mean, basically anything he thought of, they said, yeah, pump it up.
Yeah. Now, creatively speaking, he wanted to lead the charge. That comes with, you know, not being your boss, but being in that leadership role. Was it like a little bit weird?
Yes.
Having him as your boss and him being your son? Because I know as a mom, I'm not a mom, but you're a mom. If I were to tell my mom what to do, she'd kill me. She'd beat my ass.
Yeah.
How was that handling
those rings?
Yeah. How was it handling that sort of like situation?
That was a little bit of a tricky slope, but not for the reasons you think. I think Bam was like always the kid. I mean, even when he was a kid, he was like 10 years old. He was always like the director. You know what I mean? Telling everybody, here, run over this hill and make it look
because he had the dream, right? He knew what he wanted.
Yeah, and I mean, we kind of went along with that. And I'm like, okay, Bam, you know, chill out. You know, it's fine. So when it did kind of parlay over, he always treated us respectfully, like Phil and I pretty much. I mean, nobody probably believes that. But it's like, you know... They would do the big thing to us, and then we'd backpedal, and he'd say, just, you know, come out because we have to fill in, like, some blanks. He never actually, like, was yelling at us or telling us, unless he's like, I mean, he made me jump out of a plane, and I just wanted to shut him up, so that's why I did it. I mean, if anybody believes that.
That's a true mother. Yeah. Right there.
No,
He'll do anything for your kid.
He said, can you take me to the airport? I have to go to Newark Airport. And I said, sure. And he goes, but we're going to go by way of the Poconos, and he goes, and you're going to jump out of a plane tomorrow. I'm like, no, Bam.
Wait, the Poconos, where did you jump from?
I can't remember.
Skydive the Poconos?
I don't remember the name of it.
Where was it located? In Hazleton?
It was up there. I don't think it's there anymore, but...
Okay, because my sister owned a drop zone up there.
It wasn't Drop Zone.
Well, it was Skydive
Sky's the Limit.
Okay,
that's not right.
That's not her. That's not hers.
I have the little certificate. I'm trying to picture it. But anyway, he said, we're going to jump out of a plane, then you can take me to the airport. I'm like, no. But then I thought about it, like, I had my nervous breakdown the night before and kind of, like, went through all the emotions. And then I'm like,
Jesus.
I'm just going to shut the kid up. I'm thinking, how bad could it be? Like, you jump out of a plane, just pretend you're jumping into a pool of water.
From 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
I'd rather do that than bungee jump. No
Right.
bungee jumping.
Yeah, I'm with
I
you.
saw that story a few weeks ago where that girl,
How many times
never
do you hear
hooked her
that?
up.
never hooked her up to the thing, and she
Yeah.
died.
Yeah.
She just fell right to the
I
ground.
saw, and they like threw her off a.
Horrific.
Forget that.
Yeah, down in
Horrific.
Brazil, right?
I
Yeah.
do not want to be jerked back
No.
by anything.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? Like I'd be
That's gotta
dead.
hurt. That's gotta
I'd
hurt
be dead.
anyways.
I'd rather just go straight down.
Yeah.
So
But anyway,
Yeah.
so, with him being kind of like in charge, we just let him do it. And we worked very well together as a unit of 4.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, hey, Jess, we need the music. Hey, Mom, can you bring some food? Or, when you come back to the house, make sure you have all the clothes you wore all week long in your car so you don't have to drive back and forth somewhere. Those kinds of things. So I think we worked really well. I think the muddy part for me was, we tried to protect our kids from this big machine of like Hollywood and all the access and all of the everything that comes with it. And I mean, it was hard for even Phil and I when we were older.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to drink a tray of shots. I
you
don't
just took
drink
the words out of my
shots.
mouth. That was the next thing I was going to ask you. I mean, with fame comes
Dude,
drugs
I
and
don't
alcohol.
drink
Right.
shots.
Yeah.
I have maybe a glass of wine or something or a margarita, but
Right.
I'm not going to do that. So people get really put off if you don't somehow want that tray of shots. So, I mean, Bam was kind of put in that position. I'm sure Jesse was as well. And I worried about that.
And you can't be there all the time.
No, and then he kind of got into this whole rock and roll world, and he liked that whole look because he had bulimia at one point, which I discovered because of this whole body dysmorphia thing, which I get. You're on TV. People are going to analyze,
especially in the 2000s,
scrutinize
when
you up
was
and
like,
down.
Yeah.
He's too thin. He's too fat. He's too this. He's too that. I mean, I worried about it for my even self. I'm just the mom,
Yeah.
But I'm like, gosh, people are probably thinking, oh my gosh, she, was too thin. She's too fat. Her hair doesn't look right. I always worried about like people I went to school with. It's like, oh my God, I'm on a show named Jackass. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you think about all these things. So I think that when the addiction came and things got a little out of control, right around the time you met Villavallo, who is a lovely person, but man, that guy,
he's crazy.
He was, I mean, it was just alcohol morning, noon, and night, and there was no food involved. And so I think that kind of like just looked real glamorous to him and fell into that. And before you know it, things happen. Ryan Dunn dies, things like that. And that's when him being in charge is tough because I'm your mother.
Yeah.
And I'm going to handle, like, we're going to talk to you about this because this is not cool. So I think that was the hardest part, to try to make him understand that there's a problem here, and that was a really tough, awful time.
Yeah, it's really hard for people like that. And,
very hard. And I think that probably every family in America is dealing with it on some level.
Yeah.
Either your child, your parents, your family,
Depressed,
your brother, your sister.
addicted.
Somebody
is dealing with something.
dealing with something.
If you're comfortable answering, you mentioned that when things kind of took a turn was when Ryan, and not only Ryan died, but a man named Zach Hartwell died, who was another good friend of them, which I think really doesn't get enough spotlight. If you're comfortable with it, can you walk us through the day when you found out Ryan passed away, as well as Zach?
Yeah, that was, well, I mean, here's something crazy. We always filmed at our house, and Ryan always came in, and I could hear him a mile away, with his car.
Yeah.
And there was a really bad car accident in 1996 with my kids, and he was driving.
The car flipped, right?
Flipped 8 times into oncoming traffic on 202.
Yeah.
Had kids in 2 different hospitals. So that was really awful. And there was a point when I said to Ryan, like, I love you so much, but it's like you're having a really bad driving decade, and I don't want my kids in your car.
Yeah.
So he would come, and he was always driving a BMW. He liked BMWs. And I'm like, would you please, like, slow down? Like, you don't want to die in a car crash, Ryan. And he goes, you forgot one thing, Ape, fiery. And and I remember him saying that, and I'm like, don't ever say that to me again. So there was a morning when Casey from WMMR called me, and he would call me all the time, or somebody from MMR, and say, is it true that so-and-so shaved their head? And I'm like, no, or, hey, did the guys really do this? And I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Or I would call and it's like, did you do this? And they're like, no. It's like, I'd get back to him. It's like, yeah, that's a rumor.
Yeah.
So he called and he says, hey, we're getting, news that there was a car accident and I think Ryan Dunn was involved. And I'm like, oh, well, I hope not. I said, no, I'm sure everything's okay. So I hung up with him and I called Ryan's phone and it didn't even go to voicemail. It just died. You know what I mean? Like there was just nothing.
Like the dead ringing sound.
Like there was just no ringing.
Yeah.
There was no voicemail. And
Like just didn't connect.
not at all.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's strange. So then I called his girlfriend and I left a voice message for her and I'm like, hey, just checking that everybody's okay. Just let me know. MMR called, it's not about a shaved head. Haha. And so I hung up and then I was thinking about it. I'm like, I'm going to call the Westchester police, which I did. And I said, was there an accident?
And they know you on a first name basis, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, I think they kind of did. They might not have given me. Yeah, that's true. Didn't think about that for a sec. Hi. We have the drive-in window.
Yeah.
And Bam's already paid for all the streets paved in Westchester between parking tickets and whatever.
Yeah.
And the lady with the baseball bat.
Yeah.
The pipe, whatever.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, my God. It was always something. But, no, I said, was there an incident or an accident with Ryan Dunn? They said, oh, we can't confirm that. And I'm like, oh, good. They said, but West Goshen has. And I'm like, what's that mean? They said there was an accident, on 322. And I'm like, with Ryan Dunn? And they said, unofficially, yes. I said, well, was anybody hurt? And it's like, yeah, there's fatalities. At the time, they didn't know whether there were 3 people in the car, 2 people in the car. Zach was staying at the castle because he was doing editing with Bam.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who was in the car. I didn't know whether it was his girlfriend, whether it was other friends. Like, who else is in the car?
Yeah.
And so, that was just a big blur. But then I thought, oh, my God, Bam's in Arizona.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know. He can't find out, like, on the TV or anything. So I called the people that were with him, and I basically said, where's Bam?
How hard was that for you?
Awful. And I really felt like I was on autopilot for a second because all these people know Ryan. And all I was concerned was like, Bam's going to take this really, 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 really hard.
Yeah.
And I knew that, like, Louie and Jeff and everybody, they're all friends. And I'm like, I'm so sorry to tell you this. I'm so sorry to tell you this. But, like, this is just, oh, my God, this is so bad,
Yeah.
And so I said, where is Bam? And they said, well, he's sleeping. And I said, okay, here's what's going to happen. Like, here's what's going to happen. So I kind of said, Jesse is going to call him. I said, Jackass is arranging a private plane. I said, you're all going to just get on that and get back here. We can't go commercial. So, like, I kind of, like, was busy arranging things to make sure everything was going to be okay. And then Jeff said, well, what time did this happen? I said, I think it was like 2:30 or 2:45 in the morning. He goes, Abe, the strangest thing happened. We went to the Grand Canyon for the day. Like, we had this really, really nice day. Nobody's drinking. Nobody's doing drugs. Nothing. Bam fell asleep in the back of the van. And at, like, 11:30, 11:45, like, right around that time, Bam woke up, kicking the windows out of the van.
He had already found out.
No.
Oh, really?
He was kicking he says, I have to get out of the car.
Oh, no.
He was kicking the windows out. He popped the back window out of the van, and they were like, what's going on? Like, they didn't know what was happening. Because they knew, like, all they had was water all day long. They were walking around. No drugs involved, nothing. And he was just frantic to get out of the car. So they pulled over, and he got out of the car, and he goes, I don't know what's going on, but I had to get out of that car. It was the exact time that Ryan was in the car.
That just put goosebumps on me, man.
It's crazy. We can't explain it because, see, Ryan, like I said, Ryan always got BMWs. Now, Ryan's birthday is the beginning of June. He bought a Porsche. Bam had bought a Porsche earlier in that year, and when he pulled up with the Porsche, Bam's like, what are you doing with a Porsche? You always drive a BMW. He's like, dude, I thought I'd switch it up. Now, Bam, who owns all these crazy fancy cars, knows nothing about them. except they look good and they're fast, and he puts gas in it.
Mm-hmm.
People come up, it's like, hey, what's the horsepower? He goes, dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
I just
that
drive
kind
it.
of, yeah, I just drive the thing and whatever. Where Ryan is more of a, a car-y. I mean, he's just always tinkering on cars and a motorhead. So he had taken this Porsche and put this big engine in the back, this big heavy engine. And Bam, who knew nothing, said, dude, that engine is too big for that car.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, that car's, it's lightweight, it's too heavy. He goes, you don't know anything about a car. He goes, yeah, but I know that. So ultimately that night when he and Zach were on that road, Zach lives right off like that pass right there. And I think he was just hauling butt in the middle of the night.
No, it's a long flat stretch right there.
It's a long, and everybody hauls butt there, And
I can neither confirm nor deny that I do that in the Mustang GT.
So I think what he did was he realized Zach's exit was right there and he was going to miss it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, yikes.
Tugged the wheel.
And pulled the wheel. The car swung around backwards because of the heavy engine and went in backwards and hit the tree, and the doors blew backwards. I mean, I won't go into too much of the forensics that I know, just because I know them. But, yeah.
Is there a day that goes by that you don't think about Ryan? Or does I know handling death,
for a long
easier,
time,
but...
and there's so many references to Ryan, so many reasons to think about him because he and Bam were like so close, and all the stuff with the Jackass guys. I mean, they meant well. They wanted to do what we told them to do to Steve-O, because when we did the 24-hour takeover in Times Square, we knew Steve-O was bad.
I mean, he was locked in that room essentially.
Bad,
Yeah.
doing like 32 whippets a day.
Everything.
And so we called, I called everybody on Jackass, and I'm like, somebody's got to do something. So they did what they did to Steve-O, and Steve was really mad for a year and a half. But he came out the other side, and he wouldn't be alive if it wouldn't be.
No.
So I think what they tried to do was the same kind of thing to Bam, which I knew would be a completely different animal, and I tried to say, he ain't your normal animal.
It's not the same
I know
thing.
how he thinks, and this may or may not work. And then COVID hit, which was really kind of like the big monkey wrench in the whole works. And that whole thing went south, and it was just very complicated. But the truth of the matter was, when Ryan died, the spark went out of it for Bam. Like, he and Ryan had the best time filming. They were always each other's seconds. They were always backing each other up. And I think truly the idea of doing that movie without him was so foreign to Bam. I think he just really thought, how am I going to go in there and do what I need to do without him? You know what I mean? Like, we do this thing together, and I mean, they were
brothers, essentially.
Brothers from another mother.
Well, they were Corsican brothers. They felt each other.
They basically lived at our house. So they're very, very close, and I mean, it was just really hard. So, I mean, anytime anybody ever asked me about Jackass, I mean, the sparkle went out of it when Ryan died.
Was it at the drop of a hat, or was it gradually, you think?
It was gradual, and I think Bam really thought about the ramifications, because there was a lot of times he had to do an interview in New York City, and the first thing he would do is call Ryan, hey, want to take a ride? We're going to do this thing together. Because they could work off each other, and it was always really funny.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen the director chair thing in London.
Where it just snapped.
That was them.
Hilarious.
That was them all day long.
Yeah.
And it worked. And I think that was just really hard for him. And Bam struggled, and then we struggled trying to get him help, and we just took a leap of faith and tried everything in the book, it didn't really work for him. But, if anybody is struggling with addiction, the truth is this is what I've learned personally, and you don't have to take this to heart. You've been told, probably through any rehab situation, cut the person off. Cut the person off.
They'll learn.
Don't let them in the house. Don't let them come in. I disagree with that. And I have somebody who lost a son, and they did that, and they regret it every day of their life. So I think have limitations.
Yeah.
No money, cut off. You have a safe place to be here, but there are big rules. And you will do this or you will do that. that is more my philosophy, and that's kind of what I did. We had a different situation. I didn't have a kid who needed money. That was the bigger problem.
Right. The money was there.
He wasn't coming looking for anything.
Right.
With Novak, we had to bolt everything down. That was a different story, and so did Bam. But I think that, you have to be supportive, but I think the biggest thing is that you have to make them understand that they need help on their own, and they have to come to it themselves. You can't want it for them. You can't want it for them. Nobody can want it except for them.
That's right. The only
person
help
you're wasting your time. You're wasting your money.
Yeah.
You're wasting everything if they don't want to be there.
Right.
They're just going through the motions for you.
Initiate it. Right.
If can't do it for anybody but yourself.
They'll realize, I can't keep living my life like this, and this is where I resonate with you guys. Is I think it's a cool comparison, because you're a mother who's dealing with a son who's addicted to substances, and I'm a son who I lost my father to drugs in a car accident. Awful. I was, fortunate enough to be 2 years old, so I was raised by my mom,
right?
Essentially, and then I moved here with my grandparents due to a situation that happened when we were in Florida, and thankfully she's been sober for the last 9-10 years or something like that.
Wow.
But it's scary, because there's been moments where I've walked into the bathroom and my mom is.
It's very scary.
Unresponsive. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to do.
Sometimes I think it's more traumatic for the people who are going through it
than it is the actual person.
There was a time I was dragged halfway out of a car, like down a big long driveway, because I was trying to get the keys out of the car, and I went with the car.
It's
because he didn't care.
Yeah.
I've had tables turned on top of me. I've been through all of that. It's really, really hard. But I have to say that, even though Bam spent really 2 years going in and out of rehabs, which is, I have a totally different story than he does, but I'm not going to tell it. I'll let him just tell his story.
Maybe he'll come on here one day.
That's right.
We'll see what we can do about it.
He has a totally different recall, and a lot of times I get so mad at him. I'm like, will you stop telling people that you left high school in 9th grade? You left? Oh, my God.
Well, that's what I also was under the assumption, that he didn't go through the rest of high school.
I'm like, you make us look like idiots. Because the deal was, it's like, look, you finish high school, you can do your skateboarding. I know you're traveling a lot already. And I realized, and I won't mention the school, that they weren't real supportive of somebody who had an idea of being a pro skateboarder.
Yeah.
Not real
that
supportive.
doesn't fit in the guidance counselor window, does it?
No, it doesn't. And it's kind of like, I'll see you in the Burger King drive-thru. That's what they told him. And I realized that it was like the last week of 11th grade, and he had gone down to the Tampa Pro-Am, and I said, just compete and then get back here. You can't stay for any of the other stuff because you have finals this week, and sorry, you're going to have to come back. So he came back, went into the cafeteria. A friend of his had one of those yellow plastic like water pistols, because it's the last week of school.
Yeah.
And basically stuck it in his, waistband, went to his friend, said, give me all your Doritos or else, get blown away. So the teacher just said, hey, Margera, hand it over. And he goes, oh, come on, that's my friend. He's going to kill me for losing it. Next thing you know, he goes to his next class. The police are there.
Get out of here.
Yep. They took him down to the police station. We had to go through all this stuff.
Over a yellow water pistol.
A yellow water pistol.
Not even a prop. I mean, it's something you can clearly tell is a toy. Yeah.
So I went in to I went in there and I said, look, you must be kidding. And even the police were like, yeah, they said there's a zero tolerance. I'm like, it sounds like a zero brain skill type thing. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
So we went up in front of the school board. We had this big meeting with everybody lined up, and Bam's like, Mom, I know what I want to do with my life, and I'm just twirling my wheels. They're throwing this ridiculous stuff at. They've suspended him for 10 days, which I don't even think there were 10 days left of school.
Right.
And I said, you have to be kidding me. And he goes, so I came all the way back from Tampa to be suspended, and I don't get to take my finals now because I'll have to take them in the summer now. He goes, I'm wasting my time. So I said to this, this lineup of teachers, I said, look, you must be kidding with this yellow plastic water gun. It's ridiculous.
It's absurd.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
I said, look, he knows what he wants to do. You may not agree with what he wants to do, but, if you want to be consistent, if you're going to be stupid, be consistent. I've worked your Mayfair all the school years that my kids have been here, and I've always been put on the water games, and that's what I handed out for a prize. So be consistent if you're going to be dumb.
Yeah.
Right.
You have a zero tolerance, then don't hand them out.
Exactly.
So I said, come on, Bam, get your stuff. Let's go. And I'm like, you will be homeschooled your whole senior year, and then you will take your,
GED.
Your GED as soon as your class graduates. You can't do it ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And he did, and he held by his word. Had great score coming out. He's a really smart kid.
There you go.
You will never stump him on capitals
Really?
of any country.
Yeah.
In the world.
So I got a question for you. He's getting older, obviously. Is there any truth to the rumor that he's going to take Tony Hawk's place on selling Cunol?
Well, I haven't heard that one yet, but I know that we could be supporters. I did talk to Tony about that
stuff.
Last time I saw Tony, I'm like, dude, you're the wrong person. We should be injecting. I know. I talked to Jamie Thomas too. I'm like, we should all be on Cunol.
So we got about 5-10 minutes left, I guess, of this interview. We've gone over time.
He's-
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
He's stealing time.
I'm chatty.
Listen.
That's
So
right.
are we.
That's right.
So are we. So
This is
I have
just
a
too good an
plethora
interview
of
to give up.
questions to ask for you. So I know I can't get them all in, and I know you have somewhere to be. But
No, I don't. It's
you don't?
It's Phil's birthday. I mean, we have people coming over.
how's
but
3 more hours sound? Is
Yeah,
that cool
right.
with
yeah,
you?
we'll just sit here
How
forever.
about I just take you and Phil to Jimmy John's for lunch and we'll keep talking.
So
He'd be there forever.
Yeah, right?
you had all these kids around all the time. I don't know if you know. Obviously, you know Carrie Getz.
Yes.
Carrie Getz's son, Jason, I'm very, very good friends with.
Yeah, he's great.
He's phenomenal.
Oh my God, have you seen him even on a motorcycle?
Unbelievable. So I have a story for you. We were heavily influenced by Jackass. I mean, we'd watch
Okay.
the old CKY videos.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. None of us are dead, so it's fine.
Okay, good.
So one day we found an old office chair on the side of the road. We're like, let's do something with this. So we put it up.
Look,
to
a
our
stunt
friends.
prop.
Yeah, we put it up. We hooked it up by a rope to our friend's, Volkswagen SUV that he had.
Oh, no.
Junior year, he had just gotten his license. We all just started to drive. I'm driving my grandmother's car like a maniac, going nuts. We're all
Those
driving.
wheels aren't
across-
speed rated, by the
No,
way.
her Hyundai Tucson. We're
Yeah.
speeding through traffic.
We have some furniture incidents too.
So Jason was out of his mind. Like, he's crazy. We're all more tame now because we know, it's not worth it anymore. But it's still
It's
funny.
not.
We still get into our
Right.
shenanigans once in a while.
Right.
But Jason, we hooked him up to this, big swivel chair that you see at Office Depot, and he's going around the middle school parking lot. This is 12 o'clock at night in December.
That's not good.
In
His
December.
face got burned up.
So we're driving around the parking lot. We think that he's going to fall in the street. That doesn't happen. The chair stops and hits a lip on the grass.
No.
And there's fencing 10 feet from the grass and the street. So thankfully he didn't hit the fence. I'll show you this video after this. He flies on the thing, rolls 20 times. He's not moving. We're like, we don't know what to do. We're stunned. We're laughing, but I'm like, this is not funny. We don't know what's going on. He's like, and when Johnny Knoxville was like, is butter being okay? Well, Jason had his moment. He was like, let's do it again. Let's do it again. I didn't like that one. We would go insane. We would pepper spray ourselves, do all that stuff. It's insane how influential it is. Which leads to my question: was there any stunt during Jackass specifically that you were like, I can't watch this? I can't.
I mean, actually, there were a lot. And,
Or that you were like, this is too far.
It's too far. But
Yeah.
the simpler ones, like when the golf cart fell on top of Knoxville and it flipped over.
That was bad.
It was bad.
Was that right around here?
Yeah, it was right
Yeah.
up at that golf course, which is no longer there on 202.
Mm-hmm.
It was the craziest thing, too, because they let us, they paid for all of the, those animals and everything, but there was one that they, wouldn't let them buy or part with, and I mean, a lot of those animals are at Pam's Castle House right now.
Really?
But they really beat them up. But there was one that they just wouldn't be okay with them using. It was the best one. It was the biggest one.
Yeah.
And they never took it or do it anything. This big wrecking crew came and tore the whole thing down. I'm like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Let them do that. Crazy. But that's where they did it, and that cart went off of kind of a weird thing. Dunn was driving that, I
was about to
believe.
say, yeah.
And anyway, it fell on him, and he was just kind of like, panting. I know, too, when, like,
it's a lot more weight than people think.
A lot more weight, and...
I got fired from my golf job, by the way. I didn't tell you that.
For crashing
a golf cart. For crashing a golf cart. So
I could see... I mean, it's easy to crash one of those.
I mean, I was driving from the passenger side like an idiot, and I just took a sharp turn, and I hit a podium. Thankfully, I have another job now, so it's not like I'm unemployed.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that, and of course Knoxville with the big motorcycle jump that came back down on him. I mean,
on his crotch.
Really broke him bad for a couple years. That was pretty bad.
So anything with Bam?
The marble bomb was really painful. I can.
Whoa! What's the marble bomb? I don't know this.
It's a bomb loaded with marbles, and you just stand there with a face mask, and it goes randomly. Like you might get hit a lot or a little. He really got hit a lot, and it was so painful. He said it was the most painful thing ever.
He was crying. I mean,
it hit him in the gut, you know. And the branding was nice and infected. Like we dealt more with infections, you know, of weird stuff, and him breaking his tailbone that one time. But you know, I always said to Knoxville, and even like Tremaine and Spike, like the stuff that you're doing isn't really Bam. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I said, it's not really Bam. Bam likes to be in charge. Bam likes to prank people. Bam likes to do funny kind of like free is funny. That's funny. Shopping carts. That's Bam. Antiquing. That's Bam. He did those kinds of things. He was never into like hurting himself really bad, other than the shopping carts and weird stuff that they did. But it wasn't really him. It wasn't really a perfect fit. I mean, they took the concept of CKY, and then these other guys just kind of like lit themselves on fire, spraying pepper spray. And Bam was more subtle. If you take a look at the CKY, it's more of a funny, pranky thing. I mean, they got hurt, but it was a
lot of skit. It was skit oriented.
Yes.
Brandon DiCamillo was.
I mean, they did
hilarious.
Fire in the Hole.
Yeah.
I mean, that was simple. It was funny, and I mean, at the time you could do it. You know, it was before social media. And so they did get away with a lot of stuff and crazy stuff. I mean, I don't know whether you've seen, like, they would dress up like Santa Claus and Chicken Man and run through Westchester and pound each other in intersections. You know what I mean? Like, beat each other up, and people, they get reactions from people looking at Santa Claus beating up a chicken, you know, or
sounds like Peter Griffin fighting with his archenemy, the chicken. It
was really, really funny.
Right.
So they have the Christmas parade here. This was years ago. And I remember being down at the other end of town, seeing the Santa Claus, like, walking all the way down to where, I guess his car was, whatever. And he seemed pissed off. You know what I mean? Like, kind of mad. And I'm thinking, what went on?
Oh, yeah.
So the guys come back to the house with their dailies, you know, like the daily filming. And I'm watching this, and I'm like,
that's my kid.
Is that Brandon DiCamillo as the Santa Claus?
Oh, no.
And they said, they took him, he turned on all the Christmas lights, and he goes, and the guy they hired wasn't right there. They grabbed our Santa Claus. I'm like,
oh, no.
Oh,
wow.
No. I said,
no.
I said, you didn't do Chicken Man or anything, did you? And he says, no. I said, that could scar a lot of kids. You know? Like, you can't do that. Like, he's got to be Santa Claus. So, I mean, it was always stuff, you know what I mean, that I worried about. Like, you don't want to warp people. So they were always in Westchester or doing something crazy, and I was always afraid to come back into Westchester to be like, you're the one.
When did you realize, like, at least like if you were in the area, you realize, okay, these kids are going to be something special?
Well, you know, it's really funny because I realized once he put CKY together, we were having 3 showings a day in our house with kids I've never seen, never met, you know, and then this video went on to be done by a skateboard company. It was very successful. Bam was only 16. This guy saw an opportunity. He sold the cover rights to Europe, with unbeknownst to Bam, and when Bam decided to do CKY2K and went to Iceland, and Iceland is covered in CKY videos in the video store, he knew something was up. So there was a whole big thing with that, you know, trying to get that right.
He's probably wondering, was it bootleg or what's going on here,
right? No,
right?
this guy sold the cover rights and then reproduced it. He saw an opportunity. The kid's 16.
Right.
You know, he's not going to know.
Yeah.
You know, that was pretty crazy.
It's like signing bad record deals.
So they did CKY, CKY2K, CKY3, CKY4. Huge. And, I mean, everybody loved it. It was like everybody just loved this video. And that's when Jackass came on board. You know what I mean? I personally, and this is only my personal thought, is that they saw an opportunity, that this kid has something going, and we could kind of like build on that.
Yeah.
Build on
Yeah.
that. Well, build on that. I'll say build, not exploit. Build. We'll bring our brand of funny. There's this guy Steve-O in Florida. There's this other guy who's doing this here.
These guys in Washington,
and, you know,
Dave and Aaron.
Yeah. So, I mean, they brought this nice group of people. Nicest group of guys ever. Love them all. I mean, they're just super nice.
Yeah.
I have nothing but good things to say about the Jackass family. And, you know, we've never had a problem other than, you know, them coming to my house and ruining my house. And
Other than that.
And Johnny always says, Mrs. Margera. I'm like, will you just please call me April? And he goes, I know, but it's just, I'm from Tennessee. I said, I get it. But it's like, stop wrecking my house and saying, sorry, Mrs. Margera. I'm like, stop that.
You're not sorry. You're wrecking my house.
When they first started filming, though, were you on board with being on TV at first?
Well, I mean, we were always...
She was going to do underwear, for God's sake.
I
know that, but
no, it was
on
very...
reality TV.
Well, see, we were always just the mom and dad in the CKY series.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you ever see the first day of filming of Jackass for the show, they came to us and they said, we want you on the show. And I'm like...
Oh, great.
Doing what?
Yeah.
And they're like, just doing what you do. And I'm like, who
You're
wants
the parents.
I said, who wants to see that?
Right.
And they're like, no, you guys are the glue that holds this all together. And I'm thinking...
It's the reactions, the whole bit.
They're just kidding. So I did what I usually do for CKY. I got up, put my hair up, didn't put makeup on, got in the kitchen, the whole crew came in, I'm making food, I'll feed the crew, and then they've got a camera in my face. I'm like, go. And they're like, you're on the show. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I didn't think you were actually serious. You know, like serious.
Mm-hmm.
I was either doing that, cooking, or I was the getaway driver. Because I know when we did the Snake Canyon jump, which was on a little road with a little creek very near here, and he jumped that, and it was private property, which I told them,
get out.
It's private property, it's not public, not that that's going to make a difference. I was the one in wintertime that threw a blanket over, threw him in my car, drove him to my house, threw him in a hot shower. While the police are like there, and I'm like, the good news is that when you've got like a Jackass production company,
right,
they'll deal with the mess.
Yeah,
that's right.
Like here,
you get away with a lot more.
You
stuff.
guys can deal with the cops. So I'm taking him out of here.
How about a donation to the policeman's ball?
Yeah, like honestly, it's crazy.
Is there a craziest day in your house that's either on film or not on film, like one that really sticks in your mind, like this might be the craziest day?
Yeah,
Was it the day Slayer came and opened for Bam at his house?
That was pretty crazy because I was negotiating that, and I mean, Kerry King and everybody, like they always took me off on some shopping thing.
Yeah.
Like, let's go shopping with, Slayer. I'm like,
Tom Araya, Kerry, all them.
Who's going to watch that?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm saying, come on, Kerry, we'll go get some cheese doodles. You like them. So we would, go do that thing. I said, look, I know you got the wall of sound, and we're not going to get to this film until later tonight, like 10. They're saying 7:30. I know better.
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to be 10.
Yeah.
He just moved in here. This isn't going to be good. So I said, please tell me you're just turning on 1 or 2 amps on the wall of sound.
Yeah, I think good.
Thumbs up.
I'm like, thank you so
thumbs
much.
up there, yeah. And?
Well, everybody at Chester County Prison really loved the concert. Like, dude, it's Slayer in stereophonic sound.
Yeah.
And the neighbor had to, spend a week to get her cows out of the woods. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
It was crazy.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, when I think about what I've done with who I've done stuff with, it's kind of crazy.
Well, that's what I saw Bam talk about something. It's like, You wouldn't believe me if I told you that my Lamborghinis were in Pyongyang, North Korea.
Right.
Billy Idol ripped the roof off of my purple Lamborghini, and I spent 9 years chasing an ostrich.
It's crazy.
It actually, truly happened to him.
I tell people,
I walked in somewhere,
I slept with Billy Idol, but Phil was there too. And,
couldn't understand a word he said.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I've been with Slayer, and oh my gosh, I mean, oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, it is a crazy story. When I start talking about it, and I think, oh my god.
When's the book come out?
I actually do. I mean,
you have a book.
I have a cookbook.
Okay.
But
there's an alligator in
the
my
book
house.
of the life of April.
I know. Well, I thought about it.
Yeah.
When I was really going through some really dark stuff with Bam, I'm like,
good therapy.
I should probably write all of this down, but like if I actually wrote down the truth, like the actual truth of what has happened,
right?
Nobody's going to believe it.
No, they're going to think it's fiction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's so crazy that nobody would believe it. Because
Mark Twain, truth is stranger than
I was
fiction.
leading a double life. You know what I mean? I was putting on a happy face, going to work. I worked as a hairdresser for as long as I could with Viva La Bam, and then when it got picked up, I was like done. Now I own a store in Thornton. It's called Rose Hip Barn. Yeah. I do hand-painted furniture, and a lot of that furniture early on in the 90s turned into props because they're like, can we borrow the desk that's in there? And I'm like, sure. I didn't know they were going to tie it to my pickup truck and ride it like a Bronco, you know, and tie themselves to it. Bad idea. I'm like, don't ever tie yourself to anything.
Now, when are you guys open? Because I do want people to go to that store. Because I plan on, my girlfriend loves antique stuff like that. My mom loves furniture. So I go to Westchester, obviously. I'm 10 minutes away. So
yeah,
I do want to make it in. What days of the week are you guys open?
Okay, so we have the weirdest business plan in the world. We are open like usually 2 to 3 days a month. Mm-hmm. We open for a Friday, Saturday. We do pop-ups. During the holiday season, we're open every weekend.
Okay.
And of course, we have Santa Phil, the last Saturday before Christmas. But we have, like, I call it an emporium. And the reason we do this is because basically it's me. Mm-hmm. I have Carrie and Joanne that work with me. Donna, who worked years with me hauling furniture and redoing the place, has retired at the beach, but she comes up for our openings to help. But she's not around during the week, so it makes it a little challenging for me because I'm basically doing it. Mm-hmm. So I repaint furniture, repurpose furniture, reupholster furniture. I bake pies, I make jam, I make all pillows, and we just offer it for a really good price. Because a lot of times, the biggest thing, especially while traveling with all of this, I love to go into places that like, oh my God, this looks so fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like antiques.
My aunt's the same way. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Loves it.
And it's like, does that really say $600 for a pillow?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, unless Brad Pitt's bringing it to my house, I don't think it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
So I really just wanted a place where people can come, be excited about the stuff, have really good prices. Like, wait, I can get a sofa for $150?
Right.
Really? Or I can get pillows for $20 or $25. Pies are $15.
$60 if you want it autographed.
Our house needs furniture, I'm telling you.
I really love it when like young couples come in and they're like, we thought maybe we could get a lamp or a table, and they have like $500. Not only did they get a whole kitchen set, dining room set, sofas, chairs, lamps, they had money left over.
Will you do that?
Like that.
Will you autograph the underneath the tables for me?
Yeah,
chairs?
I'll do whatever.
See, that'd be a riot. To be able to go, this was autographed by.
I know, and I have autographed a lot of stuff.
That'd be great.
I do autograph a lot of stuff.
That shtick alone is worth its weight in gold.
And I do a lot of hand painting myself. So
I think that's great.
So I do all the hand painting, and I've done that for years. Even when I was a hairdresser, I did all of that. I did Turk's Head Music Festival.
Really?
And, yeah, we've done, a lot of stuff like that.
That's the beauty about this town. I mean, it's, everybody, it's a very not tight-knit community because it's so big.
I always did the restaurant festival. We did the Christmas parade. I twirled fire in the Christmas parade because they actually asked me when I was in how old was I? Almost 60. I don't know,
we did
50.
the Christmas parade this year.
So I twirled fire.
I
twirled fire for the University of...
You're like a silent legend around here.
You do everything. You're a jack of all trades.
I'm a jack of all trades.
Yeah. The son's a jackass of all trades. You're the jack of all trades.
Well, I have to tell you, and this is the weirdest thing, and I know I've said this before and you might have heard it, but when I had a hair salon, I asked the girls one year for Christmas, like, what do you want for Christmas? Do you want, like, Christmas bonus? You want to go out to dinner? What do you want? They wanted a party at the hair salon with a psychic. I'm like, what? And they're like, I don't know a psychic. And they were like, we'll get one. I'm like,
Yeah.
whatever. So they got a psychic, brought the psychic in. They said, hey, boss, you're first. I'm like, no, you all go. I'm fine. I don't need to talk to a psychic.
Yeah.
Right.
They're like, no, we insist. So I remember taking my wedding rings off, the whole thing.
So you couldn't tell anything.
And I sat there,
right?
go
no
ahead.
identifiers.
Like, tell me about myself.
Uh-huh.
Can't read my body language other than I'm closed off.
Right.
So this lady was she's just looking at me and she's like kind of doing, all the stuff. And it was like, a half-hour reading. In that half-hour reading, and this was probably 1994 and 5 maybe.
Yeah.
She looked at me and she's like, oh my God. She kept saying, oh my God. And I'm thinking, am I going to die next week?
She's already watching everything that's going on in the future.
She goes,
There's an alligator in your house.
well, no. It was very weird because she just kept saying, oh my God. She goes, but both of your boys are going to be famous. Like, really famous. Like, oh my God. I see little wheels around this one and this one's doing, I don't know, but they're connected somehow. And oh my God, you're going to be traveling everywhere. And oh my God. And then she goes, oh, I want to say you're going to be mom to millions. Write that down. I wrote it down. Mom to million. I'm like, I have 2 kids. I do have a lot of I feel like I'm mom to millions because the whole neighborhood's here.
And you're saying, look at me. I'm the cosmetologist.
She told me a lot of stuff. Like a lot of stuff. Every single thing she told me happened.
That's crazy.
Even to family members or whatever. But every time I go somewhere, if I do a public speaking or we do a personal event, I am introduced as the mom to millions.
That's a riot.
Is that crazy?
That's insane.
Crazy. And I was like not that person like, yay, a psychic. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
I was like, I mean, if I was going to be a psychic and I was just guessing, I'd go down middle of the road.
Right. Vague.
I wouldn't be like, whoa, you're going to be a circus clown.
So,
you know what I mean?
Well, that's a good description, actually.
Yeah, well, kind of, without the outfit.
Well, wait a second. So, real quick, how did the other ones work out for your other beauticians?
Very, very well.
Really?
Very well. I mean, it was, man, she hit the nail on the head. I had a friend who had lost her husband and kind of like, oh my God, it had been 7 years and she was like not giving it up. And I mean, that's all I'll say. But anyway, as soon as she went in there, and we don't say anything to her at all. She doesn't know any of us. She doesn't know anything about us. We don't tell her anything. She's like, it's been 7 years, time to blow the candles out and move on. And then, this is what she said. Oh, I forgot all about this. She said, so the person you're supposed to be with has a connection to your husband that passed away. And she's like, well, he has a brother, but he's already married. That's not it. And his friends, I don't think so. And his one friend's gay, so I don't think that's happening. So anyway, she just thought, no big deal. Fast forward like a month and a half later, her friend drags her to her class reunion and says, I'm not going. I don't remember anybody anyway. She goes, you're going because I'm going. They go to the class reunion. She meets this guy sitting at the bar, and you have to know this friend. She's like, hi, I don't remember you. He goes, you wouldn't remember me. I wasn't in this class.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, why the hell would you come to this? He's like, well, my brother was in this class, but he died in a motorcycle accident, like 4 months ago, and I felt like I should be here because I knew a lot of his friends. Turns out the guy she is still with 25 years later is buried right next to her husband.
Stop.
Yep. That's where she said, how do I know that name? I've seen that name somewhere. It was his brother. They're buried side by side.
Wow.
But she didn't know the brother.
No, but the connection was they were buried next to each other.
She didn't even remember.
That's crazy.
Because she was just like, I don't remember anybody here.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
They're still together.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
I mean, it was a lot of those kind of things. Very, very crazy stuff. I mean, crazy stuff.
I mean, you hear about, like, even the small stuff, like people who pass away and they see a bird for a cat a day later that just won't go away. It'll
I
just
know.
stand there. Like,
I hear that all the time.
and I believe in like spirit. Like I guess I don't know whether to believe in a psychic or not, because I don't know if I want to go to one for them to tell me what is going to happen, because that'll get in my head. I'll be like,
yeah. Well, I was afraid too, and I didn't want it in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm on the fence about it, even though like our sound guy from Viva La Bam went on to work for this woman who talks to, people who have passed. And he says, hey, meet us in Baltimore. I'm doing sound for the show. I'm like, sure. We'll meet up and we'll have dinner and blah, blah, blah. So we ended up meeting this psychic. Her name was Lisa Williams. I think she's the one. She's English and she has like a shock of white hair. I never heard of her. So we just saw her backstage. I brought a skateboard deck for her kid and said thanks for the tickets and whatever. And really didn't think there was anything coming through, for me, and I didn't expect anything. But before we went out the door to go to our seat, she says, I got a message for you. And I'm like, oh, shit. Am I allowed to say that?
It's all right.
And I'm like, I can't think of anything. Like, my grandmother's not going to say anything. She goes, your mother-in-law. And I'm thinking, what? And she goes, your mother-in-law wants to thank you for the flowers. I'm like, what? She says, thank you for taking out what she hated and putting in the weeds. Okay? That's what she said to me. Now, nobody knows this. My husband was in the room. My father-in-law was in the room. When we made arrangements for my mother-in-law's funeral, we picked out, all her favorite colors, and I said, please don't put these gladiolas in. My mother-in-law always told me how much she hated them. She likes the weeds better. She likes the Queen Anne's lace. And they picked all the weeds and put them in. It was beautiful. Nobody knew that except for me and Phil and Phil's dad.
Wow.
But to be so specific about thank you for putting in the weeds.
That's crazy.
Like, we had that conversation many times because we'd be down in Maryland. She goes, they're my favorite flowers, that Queen Anne's lace. I'm like, oh, me too.
My mom, same thing. She loved Queen Anne's lace.
I love it.
Yeah.
And she loved it too, but she hated gladiolas. She said they just remind me of funerals.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right. And very old people.
Old people and gladiolas. Yeah. Named Gladys.
That's right. Yeah, with a hoarse, smoking voice. Hey.
Yeah.
Love my gladiolas.
Come over and give me a kiss.
Right on the lips.
Now we're at the end, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
What is it? 11? Is it 11 o'clock?
It's 10:40. If I could keep you here,
way.
If I could keep you here for 3 hours, I would. I'm serious. I have so many questions, but I do have one final question. I want to ask you to say something. Don Vito.
Yeah.
Was he actually your guys' accountant numbers guy?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes. And what a genius he was too. Craziest party animal in the world. I mean, he was crazy. He was always like that.
I mean, my favorite video, sorry to cut you, is the one in your anniversary with you and Phil. I think it was in Italy or France or something like that.
We had to chain him to a dock in Monaco because in Monaco, you are not allowed to be a gypsy in a wheel well. Already went there with Bam. Didn't know that was illegal. And you can't make the same repeated noise for more than 15, 20 minutes. Well, he's always screaming. And we had to chain him on a dock because it was in the water.
So he wasn't in Monaco?
Correct.
He was
He would have been arrested had he done that on land. But Vince was like that since I've known him, as long as I've known Phil. Mm-hmm. He was always in a car with his, I'm going to say Elvis Mafia, with all his friends, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day of all the crap we did with him.
We'll get you in next week.
And and so anyway, he was just always that guy. And when we started filming Viva La Bam, he would always come and hang out, and he'd be like, "Yo, get me away!" And they're like, "Who is that guy?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "That's Vito, Uncle Vito." Vince is his name, but we call him Don Vito. And he's like, "He's funny." I'm like, "He's just him." Right. So I mean, everything that he was on the show was who he was.
Right.
But then he'd go into the office with Phil and things got serious. He was a tax genius. I mean, the guy was a numbers guy. He's been doing everybody's taxes for as long as I know. He would read the entire code book, know all the ins and outs. And there was a point when our own lawyer thought that maybe he wasn't the best accountant for us. Mm-hmm. So he brought him up into his office with two other accountants there who were geniuses, and let's just say that Vince put them in their place, told them a bunch of stuff they could be doing they weren't doing, and they left.
Wow.
It was so funny. And our attorney's like, you're good. You're good.
Well, your attorney was doing his job.
Yes, and I thank him for that. Yeah, because I mean, you wouldn't ever believe this guy who, you know,
he was himself.
Hot sauce and
he was himself. I mean, the video, it was filmed here. I think when Johnny Knoxville had a hotel room in Westchester, they sent Don Vito up, and he's just in the bed.
Yep, that's him.
Buffalo sauce all over himself. It's hysterical.
We were on a flight from Nice, France to Paris, and Bam, I think, double dared him to eat a
Pop-Tart wrapper, right?
Well, it was really the peanut.
metal.
It was really the peanuts. He ate the whole thing with the wrapper and all with the peanuts. And then the girl pushes this little cart down the alley with like selling perfume, French perfume. He bought Chanel No. 5 and washed it down with that.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
His breath was good for a week. I couldn't believe. I'm like, you're like some trick pony. I'm like, oh my God, what are you? Goat?
Yeah, right. To eat everything.
I'm like, you're going to get us arrested on this thing.
So, before we end this, do you have any words of advice for people like that you would give to anyone, whether they're struggling with someone with addiction or just to live life? You know.
Well, now that I'm old, really old.
April, you're not old.
Well, no. When you get to like close to the jumping off point, then you have things in perspective. Don't sweat the small stuff because it's all small stuff. I have like really sweated out for so many years, like worried about times and worried about this and worried about doing this and doing that. You know, don't do it because it's not worth it in the end. If you have anybody that is struggling with addiction, just remember that you're also part of this equation and it affects your whole life. And no matter how many people tell you it's, you know, don't let it affect your life, it's going to, and you won't be able to sleep. All you do is think about how you're going to kidnap this person and probably get them well. For me, it finally, after many, many rehabs and everything else, I finally went up to Bam and I said, you know what? I have to accept the fact that you're an alcoholic and possibly a drunk addict, and that's what you're going to be. And he said, no, I'm not. I'm like, yes, you are. Mm-hmm. And I have to accept it. Yeah. And I think that challenge helped a lot, more than all the rehab.
Well, it was the realization is what it was. When Mom finally says, this is what it is.
I've been a cheerleader for so long.
Right. Yeah. That's what it is. Then it hits home, and then he's in denial. He goes, that can't be that. Because you know what it is? You finally hit the point.
Where his mother had to understand that this is what we're doing.
And he probably read it as a disappointment. Because Mother's now seeing it
or a challenge.
And a challenge, right?
With him, it's a challenge.
This is it. We get it.
He's very successful because the school told him he wouldn't be anything.
He couldn't.
That's right. And he made sure he proved them all wrong.
But he's doing it in a way that I have nothing but respect for. And this is not to knock AA. This is not to knock rehab.
Everybody's different.
He's doing what he's skateboarding.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still has a shaman guy. Does he still do that?
Well, he's a friend. And I mean,
edit that part.
Okay.
I will.
No. Okay. I wasn't sure about this ayahuasca shit. You know, like talk about ayahuasca. Yeah. This is really going to help you. And Bam kept saying, you know, I don't want to do another thing. And he's like, yes, you have to do a kind of another program, and it's good. So I went out and I did the ayahuasca.
Yeah.
I hated it. I told him, you never have to do that again. And Jesse, you're not doing it either. I know. The only time I ever took drugs, not a good thing. I'm not even kidding. I can't even believe I told you that just now. Anyway, I had to know because I'm not going to support it for my kid if I don't know what it is.
That's right.
It's a bad trip.
Oh, God.
It's crazy.
Bring on the peyote.
What mothers don't do.
That's true.
But anyway, just live your best life and, make yourself happy every day. Support your kids because they might want to be a circus performer, but, maybe that's their thing.
And they're going to pick your nursing home.
April, we're so happy you're in.
Thank you.
You were able to come through.
That was awesome.
But
awesome. Yeah, come to my store and hang out.
I think we will.
What is it? The Rose Hip
Rose
store?
Hip Barn, and you can always check out all our hours and openings on Facebook.
And what's the address?
It is 371 Glen Mills Road, Thornton, PA.
Outstanding.
Thank you so much, April. This is 95.3 WCHE.
Happy birthday, Phil.
Happy birthday to Phil. Happy 69th birthday. Guys, take care. 95.3 WCHE. Thank you so much, everybody.